A warm good evening to one and all present here. This is from the Coimbatore chapter of Computer Society of India. I welcome you all to the student-led webinar series. And today the topic is about e-commerce, where we have a student speaker who is going to enlighten us about the precautions that we are expected to have while doing an online shopping. And today, December 25th, we all know that it's a Christmas day. And apart from that, our Indian government has announced it as the Day of Good Governance in order to honor our former Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So on this Good Governance Day, we all have gathered to know about how this online shopping or e-commerce is being governed and what are all the things we are expected to be cautious about. Now, let us get into the session. Now, may I welcome our chairman, CSI Coimbatore chapter, Mr. R. Saravana Kumar, who is a renowned social entrepreneur, visiting professor at PSG College of Technology, and former director, Cognizant Technology Solutions, to welcome the gathering. Sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Iniya Malai Vanakkam. On behalf of the Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this timely webinar titled E-Commerce Exposed, Understanding the Dark Patterns Behind Your Clicks. First and foremost, I wish each one of you a Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. May this New Year bring more happiness and more prosperity to all of you and your family. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our speaker, Mr. Sanjeet Sivendra, a third-year student of BTech IT at Coimbatore Institute of Technology and a passionate web developer. His impressive achievements include projects such as blockchain voting system, a dark pattern detector, and a sentiment analysis tool, among others. Detailed introduction about the speaker would follow soon. As we all know, e-commerce has become an integral part of our lives. We use it to purchase everything from groceries to electronics to clothing. However, we are often unaware of the hidden strategies that are used by e-commerce platforms to manipulate our behavior and encourage us to make purchases. Behind the convenience and flashy deals, there are often hidden strategies known as dark patterns that manipulate our decisions. This webinar is a great opportunity to learn more about these dark patterns that are used by e-commerce platforms to influence our decisions. In this webinar, Mr. Sanjeet will discuss what dark patterns are, how they work, and how they can impact our online shopping experience. He will also provide us with tips on how to recognize and avoid such dark patterns. I am confident that this webinar will be informative and insightful. This session will guide you to shop smarter and will help you to become a more informed and conscious digital consumer. This webinar is not just for tech enthusiasts, it's for everyone, students, professionals, and anyone interested in online safety and ethical practices. But by participating today, you will gain insights that can help you navigate e-commerce platforms more safely, save money, and shop with confidence. Even if you're someone who simply enjoys shopping online, this session has something valuable for you as well. The knowledge you gain today isn't just theoretical, it's practical wisdom that you can apply immediately to become a more conscious and empowered digital consumer. Thank you all for your presence and attention this evening. I now hand over to our Master of Ceremonies to take the session forward.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to know about the guest speaker of today. In order to introduce the guest speaker, may I invite our MC member, Dr. Radha Damodaram, who is the Chief Executive Director, iBuds Montessori Play School, Director, Skype Connect Private Limited, and Director, White Hat Junior Private Limited. Ma'am, now you can introduce the guest speaker.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas to everybody. Yes. Sanjeet Sivendra is an innovative and result-driven information technology graduate from Coimbatore Institute of Technology. His expertise in web development, machine learning, blockchain, and programming languages such as Python, Java, and C Sharp.net. He is very much proficient in SQL and GIT and experienced in building secure user-centric solutions, including sentiment analysis tools, blockchain-based voting systems, and e-commerce safety enhancements. He is a proven achiever in competitive tech challenges, having secured awards such as second prize in Hackfest 2024 and finalist positions in multiple national level hackathons. He is very much passionate about leveraging technology to solve the real world problems and enhance the user experiences. It's a great pleasure to have someone as talented and accomplished as Sanjit here. Congratulations, Sanjit, on your hackathon achievements, and that definitely they are showcasing your drive and problem solving skills. We are very much excited to see your incredible impact that you are going to continue to make. Welcome to this gathering. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time to hear from our guest speaker, Mr. Sanjit Shivendra. Mr. Sanjit Shivendra, now we can take over the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that introduction. Now
Can
let me
start your
just share my
presentation.
screen. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, very much visible. Please proceed.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for such a wonderful introduction from each and every one of you. As mentioned, I am Sanjit Sivendra K, currently pursuing my third year of information technology in Coimbatore Institute of Technology, Coimbatore, and a software development intern at Kawasaki Robotics India. I am excited and proud to present this webinar in front of such a wonderful audience. Thank you everyone for being here, and I wish every one of you a Merry Christmas and thank you for spending your Christmas Eve holiday time in this webinar. I would like to thank Mr. R. Saravaнаkumar sir and Dr. Maharashan sir and all members of Computer Society of India for this great opportunity. Today, we will uncover the hidden tactics used by websites that influence our decisions. Our focus will mainly be on understanding what dark patterns actually are, the psychology behind them, and we will see some real world examples on how they impact the consumers. I am confident that by the end of this session, you will be equipped to navigate online platforms more effectively, safeguarding your rights and interests. So, before moving into the webinar, I would like to start with a positive quote. So, the quote for today is that it's not about being the best, it's about being better than you were yesterday. I hope that this quote brings a positive start to the session, and let's move on to the webinar. So, I will first give a basic overview of our session. Starting with what are dark patterns, I will explain you about what these dark patterns or deceptive patterns actually are. Then we will focus on each and every type of dark patterns that are prevalent in the e-commerce sites. Then we will discuss about the psychology behind these dark patterns, why these dark patterns are used by organization and how they trick us. Then we will delve into some real world examples, and then we see how the customers gets affected and how these patterns impact us. Next, I will give some measures on how to recognize and avoid these dark patterns, following by empowering consumers to surf the internet and e-commerce sites to make purchases secure. Next, I will discuss on some technologies and regulations and rules published to tackle these dark patterns. And finally, some legal and ethical considerations on dark patterns. So moving forward, what are dark patterns? Dark patterns is the term for the online use of deceptive practices that are carefully crafted to trick users into doing something that are not in their interests and usually at their expense. It's basically something which we didn't want to do, but the website or an application tricks us into doing it. For example, imagine this scenario. You are just booking a flight ticket online, feeling pretty good about getting some good offers and decent deals. As you click through the process, you don't notice that the website has sneakily added travel insurance or some priority boarding fees to your basket. The boxes are already pre-selected for you, and if you are smart enough about it, you have to uncheck those boxes so as to remove those extra charges. So unless you are extra vigilant about it, you end up paying for something you didn't really want in the first place. So this is a classic example for a dark pattern. So this type of dark patterns may come under something called basket sneaking or drip pricing. So adding extra charges into our cart without our consent. Let's see another example. Another example of dark pattern will be, imagine purchasing a product online only to discover that you are signed up for some recurrent payments. So in basically in all sites we start up in a free trial. uh, some applications make us at the end of the free trial an auto pay payment, which may trick us to some year long or month long subscriptions which are paid automatically. They won't even remind us about the end of the trial, even though if we wanted to end this free trial before the auto pay has been set up. Some applications make that really quite tough for us to end the cancellation, and they make the cancellation process quite complex. So these are called subscription traps. So these are some kinds of dark patterns. I think you may have some clear idea about dark patterns. So next, moving ahead, I will discuss about the types of dark patterns which are declared by the dark patterns website. So first one is forced action. There are totally 16 dark patterns declared globally. Let us see each one of them. First, moving on with forced action. So, forced action is nothing but, see, ever you have tried to access something simple like a service or document, suddenly you hit a wall, like sudden a block where you are told you must create an account or you have to do some unnecessary task or you have to accept some terms and conditions in order to meet your service. You are forced into doing something that you didn't sign up for just to get what you need. So this type of pattern comes under forced action. So next one is confirm shaming. Confirm shaming comes under an emotional manipulation of our consumers. So this one's all about guilt. Picture like you are skipping an offer which is projected in a website in the UI, and you don't want it. But you may get some emotional manipulative messages from the site such that why do you want to miss out this amazing deal? Don't let your family down. So like that, there are a lot of deceptive word tricking things which may break our guilt and emotionally manipulating us to do things. So this type of pattern is called confirm shaming. Next one in it is disguised ads. As the name suggests, these patterns are disguised as ads. We may not know these are some advertisement. Just imagine a scenario where you are downloading music online, and when you press the download button, instead of the music being downloaded, you are being redirected to any other site. So this may often incur in our day-to-day life. So this is called disguised ads. So the advertisements are being disguised in a form which we don't know. So this comes under ads. The next one is fake security. Fake scarcity, pardon me. Fake scarcity. So the messages you may see like only 3 items left, offers ends in 10 minutes. So these kind of flashing messages may be true, but sometimes in certain applications or e-commerce sites, you may see that these type of offers, even when you see only 1 item left in stock, even after your purchase, you may see that it's still the stock is available. These are some tricks to manipulate you to purchase things. So these comes under fake scarcity. So developing a scenario to trick users that scarcity has come, no available products. So this kind of an trick is called fake scarcity. The next one is fake social proof. Sometimes products proudly boast things like rated 5 stars by 10,000 happy users. So, but what if those ratings are totally fake? In certified trust centers like Amazon, Flipkart, you can make sure that whether the reviews and the ratings are from trusted reviewers. Wa- have they actually bought the product and have reviewed it, or like that? Amazon doesn't allow you to review the product before without purchasing it. So, but in certain sites, just for promotional advertisement, there are some flash messages such as this product is rated 5 stars, there are 10,000 happy users. So we may not trick ourselves to believe those kind of things. So this comes under fake social proof. The next one is hard to cancel. Signing up for a subscription is like a breeze. It's very an easy process, but try canceling it, and it's a whole difficult story. Options may be buried deep. It may be a complex process, like the example I told you before, a free trial, and you have to cancel it. It's become hard to cancel the subscription. That type of pattern is hard to cancel. Moving on, the next one is hidden cost. You'd think that you have found a great deal, only to get to the final checkout page and an unexpected fees appear. Suddenly, the bargain isn't so affordable anymore. So there are many websites. We will see some screenshots or these examples below in the future slides. Hidden costs mainly you would see some actual price of the product, and when you try to buy them, and in the payment process, you would see some extra fees or extra platform fees, extra service fees added, which may shock you about this price inflation. So this comes under hidden cost. The next one is hidden subscription. Sometimes you are just trying to buy one thing, and before you know it, you are signed up for a monthly subscription. It's often hidden in a fine print or pre selected without your knowledge. So, manipulating the user to go on a subscription without their consent is called hidden subscription. The next one is nagging. Nagging is a common prevalent dark pattern which everyone may have come across. This is when you are going through surfing sites or platforms, you may notice some unwanted pop-ups, more pop-ups, which may be stressful for you. This won't stop bugging you until you give in, whether it's to sign up or until you do what they want you to. It will keep on pop-upping some advertisements, some tasks like that. So this is called nagging. And the next one is obstruction. Obstruction is nothing but you ever tried unsubscribing from emails or accessing your account settings only to feel like you're on a scavenger hunt. There'll be a lot of processes. These sites put up roadblocks, so much process you have to just shut it down, your contact with them. You have to put up some roadblocks to wear you down. There'll be like a very, very complex processes. So that's called obstruction. The next one is pre-selection. Pre-selection, as I said in the first example I mentioned, checking boxes which are already selected for you without your consent. You're buying something and at checkout, extras like newsletter, insurance, or premium offers which have been ticked in without your consent. If you are not careful, you are agreeing without even realizing it. Mostly terms, privacy policies, it would seem that sometimes the boxes will be automatically ticked without your consent, without you have read them. These boxes will be ticked. This comes under pre-selection. The next one is sneaking. This one's all about slipping things past you without your knowing. You're about to pay, and suddenly there are some extra items or services in your cart that you didn't add. You would have uh, undergone this. Imagine you're buying something in a famous e commerce site and you would have bought a mobile phone. some features like extra warranty or some temper glasses, back cases would have automatically been added to your cart without your consent. So this comes under sneaking. It's called as a basket sneaking. So adding products to your cart without your consent. This is sneaking. So the next one is visual interference. These are some user interface UI UX techniques which itself work against you. You would see that you are in a website and you can see a green pop-up accept button in very, very huge text. But if you want to accept or close the application, it will be disguised or it will not be even clear to you, visible to you. So these are called visual interference. The decline button might be hidden or grayed out, while the accept button is big, bright, and begging to be clicked. So this type of visual interference tricking the users is comes under the dark pattern visual interference. Next one is trick wording. So in many sites, you may see that the formation of words to emotionally tackle us. You may see like here's a classic one. Uncheck this box if you don't want to receive emails. These type of wordings may confuse you a bit, whether to check the box or uncheck the box. So there are some trick wording. You have to spend some time to evaluate them to really understand them. So this is trick wording. The next one is comparison prevention. This one is just a basic one. Have you ever tried comparing prices of features only to find the details are intentionally vague or incomplete? Like it's a tactic which is used to prevent you from comparing things with choosing your best option. It would just prevent you from doing it. It would just keep you guessing. This is comparison prevention. The next one is for fake urgency. This one is similar to what we saw as fake scarcity, but this one which comes with a tickling clock, like countdown timers, like screaming like act now or the offer will end. Only 1 hour of time, or else the price may inflate. So these type of things you might have seen. Sometimes these offers may be vague, but sometimes even after the trial has ended, the price would still be the same. So this is fake urgency. I think you would have seen all the 16 types of dark patterns. Okay, so these dark patterns, the most is a chart about how what dark patterns are used the most and how which affect the customers more. So you can just see the type of dark pattern and which are identified most in the most common e-commerce sites. You can find these patterns and you can see the forced continuity and confirm shaming. All these dark patterns being used more and more comparing to the others. So moving on, to tackle these dark patterns, our Indian government has taken some measures. The Indian government has recognized the detrimental effects of dark patterns on consumers and has taken significant steps to ban 13 dark patterns. This ban comes under the frameworks like the Consumer Protection Act of 2019 and Information Act 2000. So these 13 dark patterns have been banned by the Indian government to for a better and secure shopping experience for Indians. This ban applies across India and targets business operating in the digital space, including e-commerce platforms, apps, and websites. So, moving on, next we are going to see about psychology behind these dark patterns. Dark patterns work because they tap into some deep-rooted psychological instincts. Those little things of human behavior we all have. You would also feel that this type of thing has happened to you. So how they actually break into us. First one is loss aversion. It's nothing but making us fear that we are missing out on such an wonderful opportunity. So as humans, we really hate losing out on something. Even we enjoy gaining it, we more feel when we lose it. Dark patterns exploit this with a fake urgency or scarcity. So this called loss aversion. These patterns manipulate you to a state where we think that we are missing out something. so that we'll be forced or tricking us to purchase these. The next one is authority bias. Here's the thing, we trust experts or anyone. So, like an authority will they will advertise authorities to make us believe that this product is professional and is used by many professionals and is an authorized one. It will be like flashed as advertised as top rated by professionals, expert recommended. It's all about creating an illusion to sway your decisions, and even it's completely bogus. So this kind of things comes under authority bias. The next one is manipulating emotional states. So we all know that emotions are the powerful motivators, and dark patterns are very good at triggering them. Guilt, fear, excitement, they will use whatever works. Their intuit is that they have to manipulate us. They use it as a business strategy, but the loss is on the consumer. They would even flash messages like, don't let your family down, subscribe now. Are you sure you want to miss this amazing opportunity? These are designed to pull out a harsh heartstrings and push you into action. So the next one is social proof and bad vegan effects. So this all we have seen in the types of dark patterns, like people manipulating us on a lot of number of people have signed up for the process, creating a false sense of agreement. This comes under social proof and bandwagon effects. That similar thing is comes under fake popularity indicators. Similarly, the ratings are rigged, and it makes us completely manipulated and making us purchase something which is not as good. So finally, this all comes under exploiting our trust. Dark patterns exploit the trust users have in the platform. We would think that they wouldn't trick me, right? But dark patterns exploit this trust by sneaking in terms and conditions or presetting options and their all their types of manipulating techniques to exploit our trust. If we realize that our trust has been exploited by these patterns, we should make less use of these sites, and we should not make the psychological tricks play our instincts. So moving on, let us see on some real world examples on these dark patterns. Okay, first let us see on subscription trap. Like I already mentioned, you would be starting on a free trial, and then when you want to exit the free trial, you won't be it won't be an easy process to exit the subscription. So some apps will even vaguely give you that unable to cancel the subscription in app. So you would make a hard path for you to cancel this subscription. So you would have to read the terms and conditions well, and you have to be alert when your free trial ends. And mainly signing into this free trials, you have to be aware that whether any auto pay has been set up, and you should make sure you are doing everything you can. The next one is drip pricing. So drip pricing is nothing but disclosing a price higher than initially slated after the purchase confirmation. So if you see in the first image, this is taken from an Airbnb website. So the room booking for one night, it was said that 7,500. But when you look at the final payment section, you may see that there may be some extra fees is added, like Airbnb service fees, and many websites use these techniques because first we will be intrigued with the basic price, and when we dive deep into it, we may know that the extra charges and commissions with this. So this type of dark pattern is called drip pricing. The next one is confirm shaming. As I said, this type of dark pattern is emotionally manipulating us. So you can see things like your next purchase, join a mailing list, or no thanks, I will pay more. So you would think that am I paying more if I don't get the premium? So most sites use this. They may trick you to sign in their premium accounts. So you have to be safe that these wordings don't trick you. The next one is basket sneaking. Basket sneaking, as I've already mentioned, is a dark pattern sneakingly adding offers or items into your basking cart. But at the end of the purchase, you may realize that you have bought something what you didn't want to. Like even in some sites like Swiggy, Zomato, you can see like pre-selected things like donating a certain amount of money to some donations like Feeding India or other organizations. It's our option to add some tip or donations, but it will be pre-selected. If we are not smart enough to remove that, we have to pay for that. So this comes under basket sneaking. Next one, let us see how these dark patterns impact consumers. So this is some stats and I have taken from the papers I have read. A study by the Princeton University has found out that 11.1% of top 11,000 shopping websites use these dark patterns to manipulate users into making decisions against their interests. Also, a survey by user testing has experienced 50% of dark patterns have been seen. And according to Baymar Institute, 22% of online shoppers made an unplanned purchase due to misleading information emphasis. These numbers definitely would have increased in recent days as these have been, even though they are banned, the organization finds some smart and tricky ways to add these dark patterns in their websites. So these dark patterns have a very vast and very lasting experience in consumers. So let us see what they are. Mainly, these dark patterns impact the financial consequences. They would result in some unplanned purchases. Uh, there is a stat that over 40 percentage of online consumers have been has reported that they have purchased something without their plan, which because they have been manipulated to. And also subscription tracks, many people have suffered some financial losses due to unwanted subscriptions and unable to cancel them. Next one is privacy violations. This is a kind of in this dark pattern, this manipulates consumers into sharing more personal data, such as misleading opt-in designs favoring companies data collection. In many websites you can see sites prompting you to accept the cookies, accepting all cookies, accepting necessary cookies, such that certain websites collect your information without your consent. So even most used websites like Google, Facebook collect this. Let us see in the next future slides. I have added that. Next, how we can recognize and avoid these dark patterns. So, first thing is we have to watch for manipulative language or design. As we have gained the knowledge about these dark patterns and all types of dark patterns, we have to spend some extra time to recognize all this what's going on in the web. Are these data really true? So you have to spend some quiet time. You have to look for some deceptive practices on such as fake scarcity, forced action. You have to identify them whether the offer mentioned is correct. You have to double check with the other websites. So you have so that you make sure you purchase what's the best. So you have to, while making a purchase, you have to make sure whether you have selected everything in your consent, whether anything has been selected without your knowledge. So this kind of things we have to recognize and avoid. The next one is checking for hidden costs. As mentioned, you have to be sure what price has been mentioned initially and finally has is there any change in the prices. You have to analyze the interface design. Nowadays, the UI and UX play a major role in the business sector. So we should not be tricked into doing something which we did not want to. The examples may include redirection. So some UI UX designs are designed such a way that you may be unwantedly redirected to some other pages with advertisement. You may even go to some other malicious links. So you have to be very careful in what you are up to. Next, you have to be stay informed. You have to take some time to read the terms and conditions, privacy policies. There are various extensions and applications to read these terms and conditions. As we do not have the time to read all the terms and conditions ourselves, we can use applications. I have mentioned them in the future slides. You can use these applications to fully see about the terms and conditions and what data the website or application collects from us. Do they take our personal information? So everything you have to be assured before using those sites. Next one is using digital tools. There are some digital tools which we can use to detect dark patterns. So I have added them. We can see up to them. And you can use some ad blockers. There are some paid ad blockers which you can use for a smooth user interface experience. You can use these ad blockers for a good digital experience. Next, if you come across any dark patterns, you can report these dark patterns on Deceptive Patterns website. I have place the link in the future slides. So you can, when you come across these sites, you can complain it to the government about these sites. So many complaints may make the government take strict actions on them. Many organization has paid fines and fee for using these dark patterns in their sites. So you should, it's your responsibility also to share knowledge about these patterns and making the user experience good for everyone around you. Next one, let's see the role of technology and regulations. So you have enforcement actions against companies using dark patterns. So in the next slide, I will say about what the companies have faced due to these regulations. A famously known gaming platform, Epic Games, has faced a fine from the FTC after allegations that the company has employed some deceptive techniques to manipulate users into making unwanted purchases. So many companies, famous companies like Google, even Google has paid so much of fine for using these deceptive patterns. So if we undercome these patterns in our day-to-day life, we must make sure that we comply these practices so that strict actions will be taken against them. So Epic Games have paid a fine of $245 million. And next, if you take Voodoo, Voodoo is a French gaming company which has also paid amount of fine for using dark patterns. In this, the users were presented with the misleading choice of accepting or declining tracking, followed by a second window requiring acceptance of the provider's protection policy. So, many popular organizations use these dark patterns and have been caught and been fined. So next, moving on, let's see how we can empower customers. So as said, we have to share the knowledge of these dark patterns. What we have learned, we have to share it with our fellow mates and make sure that they are well aware of what they are purchasing and how they encounter these dark patterns. So also you have use digital tools. I have some tools which may be useful for you to prevent and avoid these dark patterns, which may be used to detect dark patterns. So there are some extensions, applications, and websites which have been built to eliminate these dark patterns inside. So we have to be vigilant and smart. We have to be sure about what's going on in our purchase, and we have to be alert in everything, and we have to report and share. We have to report misleading practices to consumer protection authorities, and we have to educate others. That's the major part in it. We have to raise some awareness about these dark patterns. So let us see some tools which are useful in overcoming or detecting these dark patterns. So there is a tool called Consentomatic. This tool is an browser extension This can be used in Chrome or Firefox. What this tool does, it can block some pop-ups or cookie pop-ups when you are surfing in the websites. You can use this application to prevent the site from tracking personal informations and does not allowing some unnecessary cookies to be traveling. So this is an useful extension. You guys can use it. The next one is Fiddler AI. Fiddler AI, I have not used it, but I have seen in a research paper. This is a standalone software for ethical design. This can be used to detect some UX patterns. Mainly the UI UX patterns can be detected by this Fiddler AI. This uses artificial intelligence and future technologies, new recent technologies to detect these patterns in science to overcome these ethical designs, and it also suggests to on a better user experience. Next one is terms of service didn't read. So it's the name of that extension. It's called terms of service didn't read. So this is available both as an extension and also as a website. So what it does, it analyzes the privacy policies and terms and conditions of all the website, and you can see the shorted or crippled version of it. What all the information, important information you need from those terms and conditions. So if you see what Facebook does and Amazon, what their terms and conditions apply. So Facebook stores your data whether you have an account or not. So you can go through this, and these are some practices that Facebook and Amazon mention in their terms and conditions, which they do with our consent, but we are not aware of this because we don't analyze the terms and conditions of these sites. So you can use this site called terms and conditions don't read to go through any website and see the summarized terms and conditions of these sites. Next one is Policies. Policies is type of an browser extension or website. It's also an extension and an website. Here it provides with an AI powered summarizer of privacy policies. So you can just paste the link of any website in this, and it will summarize its privacy policy, and it would give you and summarize the text of about the privacy policies of these sites. So this is an useful application. You can try it out. The next one is the dark patterns tip line. This is a specific application used to share encounters of dark patterns, and you can use it for use it to create awareness among users. This is a website where users publish their experience of using dark patterns, and you can see so much examples of dark patterns prevalent in e-commerce sites. You can check this site called Dark Patterns Tipline. Also, you can submit any type of dark patterns you have encountered, and this may help you take some legal actions against these sites. So finally, we will see about the legal and ethical considerations. There are many organizations which give some rules and regulations which are strictly to be followed for any organization and sites to use these techniques, and how they have to present their websites to the users. So famously known the General Data Protection Regulation GDPR. So the GDPR is one of the most comprehensive legal framework for data protection. It emphasizes transparency, informed consent, and user control for personalized data. So the key principles which are impacted by dark patterns are so transparency and consent. The Article 7 in GDPR mandates that consent must be freely given, specific, informed, and unambiguous. Practices like pre-ticked checkboxes or hidden opt-out options directly violate this principle. So GDPR provides a set of rules and regulations which all organizations should follow. So under Article 7, the GDPR has a rule that it should all organization must consent freely given specific informed and ambiguous data. So next one is purpose limitation and data minimization. Article 5 and 6 of GDPR requires that data collection must serve legitimate purposes and be limited to what it is necessary. Dark patterns like tricking users into oversharing personal data, which we have seen will heavily conflict with these requirements. So the GDPR has imposed some rules to eliminate these practices. So what impact has been created by these considerations? Companies violating GDPR face severe penalties, including fines up to 20 million euros or 4% of their global turnover. So when these organizations are caught using these deceptive patterns or violating these practices, uh, there are severe fines which are imposed to these organizations. So the next one, the European Data Protection Board. So the European Data Protection Board actively monitors unfair or deceptive practices, including dark patterns. This supervises the consistent application of GDPR. So what actions this European Union take are they issue guidelines on obtaining valid consent to prevent manipulative practices. And recent enforced as you have seen, Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite, were fined a whooping amount of $245 million using manipulative interfaces that led to unintended purchases. So let us see India's perspective of these legal and ethical considerations. So the Indian government under Consumer Protection Act 2019, this act protects Indian consumers from unfair trade practices, including deceptive designs. So these regulations include prohibiting misleading advertisement and manipulating pricing practices. So if we ever encounter these type of practices, we can directly complain to the government, specifying what act has provoked this regulation, and you can place your complaint. This empowers the Central Consumer Protection Authority. You have heard CCPA, the Central Consumer Protection Authority, to investigate complaints and impose penalties on business. So when we raise complaints about this site, the CCPA plays a major role in investigating these complaints and imposing penalties on the business sites. The next one is the Technology Act 2000. So Section 43A of Information Technology Act, IT Act mandates reasonable security practices for handling sensitive personal data, discouraging manipulative consent mechanisms. And Section 66D of IT Act prohibits cheating by impersonation using computer resources, which mostly includes deceptive patterns like fake endorsements or urgency queues. So these are some regulations imposed by our own government. So we have to, when we face these dark patterns, we can file a complaint against this using these sections 43A and 66D. On in the future upcoming bills, the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill aims to strengthen data privacy and regulate user content in digital space. It will likely align with the global standards like GDPR. So our Indian government are in talks to bring an global standard alignment like GDPR to overcome these dark pattern issues. So if you face any dark patterns in the internet or any e-commerce sites, you can use these sites to file a complaint, and you can also track the complaint and so that necessary actions are taken against these organizations. So the first one is dark patterns tip line organization, which I have mentioned earlier. And the next one is deceptive design, which is an website which is made especially for educating and empowering consumers against these dark patterns. So you can also file complaints in this website. You can also read more and more about dark patterns around the world, how it is used, how what actions have been taken against them, and you can fully educate yourself by visiting this website. It's called Deceptive Design. And also, you can file a complaint to your state attorney general to force consumer protection status. So, finally, I have been doing some research and I have gone through these papers for this data I have used. So, these are the papers which I have read, dark patterns and their use in e-commerce, and you can see them. You can use these papers to gain a better understanding about dark patterns. And next, if you want to connect with me through LinkedIn, you can scan this to make a connection with me. You can stay in touch. You can ask me about these dark patterns and e-commerce sites. And thank you. Uh, I was given time for just 1 hour, so I made things up very quickly and I have to summed up a lot. So thank you for being such a wonderful audience. If you have any doubts, you can post it in the comment box.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjit, for enlightening us about the dark patterns. Now it is time to have the Q&A session. Already at the time of registration, we have asked for the members to post their queries, and the consolidated list of queries are presented here. And now our guest speaker will answer the queries.
Okay, thank you, sir. The questions I have received: benefits of learning how to implement in job works. Okay, I am currently, as I said, I am pursuing a software development intern position in Kawasaki Robotics of India, and I have implemented some of my learnings in the job. So basically, my motto is that keep on learning until your last day. No, not everybody knows everything. You have to keep learning and learning. So there's a huge difference from learning and actually implementing in the job. So we have to be confident about our knowledge and we have to implement in job. For my job, I had to learn C Sharp and .NET framework in just around 2 weeks for my internship, and which I did and pursued my internship. So you have to be very confident, and while learning, you have to be more practical, and you have to do a practical implementation of what you're learning. It should not always be theoretical. You should have an execution of it, and you should create some applications regarding it. So next question: challenges faced in e-commerce today. So there are a lot of challenges we are facing. As I mentioned, dark patterns is the main one. So it our webinar basically sums up the question. Dark patterns, mostly in every purchase we are facing, we do not have the freedom of trust in purchasing these products. So that is a big challenge in our e-commerce today. How do we find which is a fake or a scam link? So that's a good question. There are many sites for you to evaluate the link. Mainly, there are many practices like phishing attacks and phishing links which may be imposed to you, which may steal some data and even give you some malwares, and there are so much other stuff, cybersecurity stuff. So you have always be safe and secure in accessing links. When you come across some links which you are doubtful, you can check it on. There are some really some good online websites where you can check the maliciousity of the links. The malicious links can be scanned using some websites. There are some certain websites called link scanner, basic websites. Just you can Google it and you can scan the links, which will provide you about what the contents of the link and is it safe and secure to use. And you have to use an antivirus software and to prevent yourself. So that's it. The next one, how does customer rating impact the e-commerce and the brand? Will those customer rating help in selling price? Of course, as I said, trusted platforms like Amazon and Flipkart provide only trusted people to write reviews. So you have to use some trusted websites to believe those reviews and ratings. The only people who have purchased the actual product should be allowed to rate the products. So these ratings really play a major role in our purchase. Whenever we try to buy some product, the first thing we see is the customer rating. So it comes of a huge impact in our purchase. Next, how to handle dark patterns in a wish way. So as I said, the first step is to detect them. And when you are feeling suspicious about some activities in the sites, you have to make sure that you are completely aware about what you are doing in the e-commerce site, what purchase you are making, what content you are sharing. You have to be careful about it. And if you are doubtful, you can check other websites and data and handle those dark patterns in an effective way. So, what are the goals you have? Goals which I have, basically, as I said, I have to learn every day. If you ask in the future perspective, maybe get a job according to my skills and interests and keep on learning till then. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have few questions that are posted in the chat window. You can answer those questions. And for your convenience, shall I read it out?
Sure, sir.
Yes. There is a question from Ms. Kalpana Murugananda. What would be the average duration for a complaint to be settled?
Okay. If you face any dark patterns and you have registered a complaint to this, I'm very disappointed to say this, but it usually takes time for the complaint to get acknowledged and to take actions. In India, particularly, it takes quite a lot of time, and sometimes it even goes unnoticed and complaint against these organizations. So we have to build some medium so that these complaints get access quickly uh, and actions are taken as soon as the complaint is registered. So maybe in USA and the USA and other countries, you can see that the consumers have play a major role, and these complaints may reach the required persons and actions are taken quickly. But in India, we can see that it's not very independent for users to quickly complain and get a response for it. Sometimes it even goes unnoticed, so we have to take more look into it.
Thank you. The next question is from Dr. Venkatesan. It's about the price differences in hotel booking between Android and Apple phones. Can we refer to government?
So can you repeat once again,
Yeah.
please?
Dr. Venkatesan wants to know the reason why there is a price differences in hotel booking between Android and Apple phones. He means that when a hotel booking is done using an Android phone, the price is different, and by using an Apple phone, the price is different.
Good evening. My name is Venkatesan. See,
Our
when you
vice chair.
use two different mobile phones of the same application, there is a price difference on the hotel booking. Can we complain this to the government?
Uh, Good evening, sir. Uh, I'm hearing about this for the first time. I'm sure you can complain this to the government. I'm not sure why there is a price difference between Androids and Apple phones in the same website, but I'm sure that you can place a complaint about it regarding this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sanjit.
And
Thank you.
Just
there is
to
another
add
question.
upon, sorry, just to add upon to clarify, I think see whenever you do any sort of booking, for example, flight ticket booking, whenever you do that, too, if you do it for the second time, you will be able to notice a surge in the price. So when these companies know, when these websites know that there is a demand, they naturally increase the price. So earlier you might be using Android, and the second time when you're using, so they know that a lot of queries are coming up, so marginally the price start increasing. You would have easily noticed if you have done flight bookings. It happens.
Chairman sir, the same time, two different mobiles, two different IPs. When you do a hotel booking, it is demonstrated in the YouTube video. They put the same Anoda, same hotel. The prices are different in the Apple. It is very expensive in Apple.
Oh,
It is cheaper in an Android. So the guy was recommending whenever you want to do a hotel booking, use Android phone.
wow, interesting news to me.
No, it was a news to me when I saw it the first time. I thought whether will it come under the, the fake or the dark side of the booking. I mean, I thought Sanjit may seen it. That's why I asked.
Thank
It's
you,
really
sir.
interesting, sir. I will see, really research through it and I will gain some knowledge about it.
Thank
It's
you.
even interesting and new information to me. I will look into it, sir.
There is one more question from Mr. Mahesh Raja. How to unsubscribe an account or subscription which does not have an option for unsubscribe?
So basically, most trusted websites doesn't have this option. Mostly, there will be an unsubscribe option, but the way you have to the process you have to go through to unsubscribe may be a tedious process. It may involve a lot of steps, but mostly there will be an unsubscribe option. But if you don't find an unsubscribe option, it's better you have to register a complaint, or maybe you have to first read the terms and conditions about when you are enabling for auto pay or any free trials or any payment. You have to see what it's going to be to subscribe or unsubscribe. So you have to gain the knowledge about it, then you can subscribe to it. But most of the sites have the options to unsubscribe, but the process is quite complex.
Yeah, just to add upon, I think what you could also do is, you can call the help desk and you can select an option for subscribing, and whoever attends the phone, you can request him for the process for unsubscribing, and I'm sure that you'll be able to get a person immediately and get the solution immediately if it is not available directly in the website.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, definitely. You can contact the customer care and seek support in times of this.
Thank you very much. Dear participants, if you have any queries, you can post. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next segment. Right. Thank you. We are moving on to the next segment. That is the announcements part, where I invite our chairman to update us about the forthcoming events and initiatives taken by the Coimbatore chapter of Computer Society of India.
Thank you. I hope all of you found today's webinar both insightful and valuable as well. First of all, a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Sanjit for delivering such a comprehensive and engaging session. Sanjit, I should say that your presentation was excellent. Your clarity and pronunciation were remarkable, better than even some seasoned speakers, I should say. Your real-life examples and strategies for becoming a conscious digital consumer have truly enriched our understanding of e-commerce and the hidden tactics. I'm confident that this session has sparked ideas and provided actionable knowledge that our participants can apply in their own lives and endeavors. Now, I'm delighted to share some of the exciting initiatives that Computer Society of India Coimbatore chapter has planned for you. Our chapter is dedicated to knowledge sharing and skill development, and we actively host regular learning sessions. As most of you are aware, we organize at least 2 knowledge sharing sessions every month, one on second Wednesday, which is by renowned subject matter experts, either from academia or industry, and the other one on fourth Wednesday by enthusiastic, passionate students who want to share their expertise with others, like the one which we are having today. In our endeavor to create an inclusive learning environment, we have also initiated specialized programs for differently abled individuals, particularly for visually challenged. So far, we have conducted 2 impactful sessions, and we are committed to organizing more such initiatives to empower this community. Additionally, we are planning to host faculty development programs, industry workshops, and regional collaborations by joining hands with our CSA chapters in Region 7, which includes Tamil Nadu and Kerala. These collaborations aim to organize impactful regional level programs that promote growth and innovation. To further engage students, we are also exploring various student-centric activities, including IT hack, quizzes, hackathons, and more. These events aim to foster innovation and provide a platform for students to showcase their skills and creativity. Special thanks once again to all our participants for your active engagement and enthusiasm throughout the session. Your presence and interaction make our events meaningful and impactful. As we look forward, we are excited to continue bringing you more such insightful sessions, initiatives, and activities, whether it's through knowledge sharing events, student-centric programs, or collaborative efforts across regions. Our goal is to encourage learning and innovation for all. Thank you once again for being part of this journey. We hope to see you at our upcoming events and initiatives. Let's continue to learn, grow, and make a positive impact together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, you can give your feedback by scanning the QR code that is available on the screen or by using the link that is shared in the chat window. Moving on to the next segment. It's time to hear from our secretary. Our secretary, Dr. E.K. Girisan, is here to propose vote of thanks. He is the Associate Professor and Head of Computer Technology Department, Sri Krishna Aditya College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore.
Thank you, Maharasan. On behalf of the Computer Society of India, Coimbatore chapter, I am here to propose the vote of thanks. Today's webinar on e-commerce exposed, understanding the dark patterns behind the clicks, presented by Mr. Sanjit, the student of Coimbatore Institute of Technology, was explained by him in an elaborative and very elegant manner. As participants, we were able to understand the dark patterns, its types, the legal and ethical considerations of governments, thereby gaining insights on the various e-commerce websites. Mr. Sanjit would have taken his valuable time in preparing for this webinar, for which we appreciate and show our gratitude. Many thanks to you, Mr. Sanjit, for accepting our invitation and delivering the talk. My gratitude goes to the 50 plus virtual participants who took time in attending this webinar organized by CSI Coimbatore, even on a public holiday. We always expect your earnest participation in all our future events to be organized by CSI. My thanks to our office admin staff for his coordination, the chairman, Mr. Saravana Kumar, for his welcome address, Dr. Radha Damodaran, MC member, for her guest introduction, and Dr. Maharasan, MC member, for his MOC and moderation. Once again, thank you all indeed, and best wishes for taking away the key points from this webinar. A Merry Christmas to one and all, and a very Happy New Year 2025 to all the participants. Good evening and good night. Thank you.